The headliners, the newsmakers, the political scene, and government issues. These should be our concern. And we're taking you at the forefront. Good morning. I am Attorney Karen Jimeno. Join me at the forefront as we zero in and discuss the details of some of the most pressing national issues that our country faces. After retiring from politics in 2022, Luis Chavit Singson has concentrated on running his businesses not just to build wealth, but also to give something back to the Filipinos. Manong Chavit has also been acknowledged as one of the key supporters of President Bongbong Marcos during the 2022 presidential elections, that some even dubbed him as a kingmaker. Will the kingmaker decide to be king himself, or will he be content running his own business empire? Joining us this morning for an hour of conversation, former governor, former mayor, Luis Chavit Singson. Welcome here at the forefront, Manong Chavit.
Thank you, thank you.
So you were one of the more prominent supporters of President Bongbong Marcos in the 2022 elections.
Yes.
After he won as president, were you offered a cabinet position or any advisory position?
No, I didn't want to get any position because it would be a conflict of interest. Because before the election, I told him that because all the councilors and all the mayors are reporting to me, because at that time I was the president of the Mayor's League, and all are reporting to me, and I have the data. I told him. But before that, there a lot of things happened. When I was informed by Senator Amy to help Bongbong because he was cheated during the last election, so we could start early for him to run for vice president. Well, you better call a meeting of all the leaders of the North. So I told him to invite all the leaders of the North, and then invited them, where all their residents, the mayors, congressmen, governors. So he said, thank you for coming, but we could prepare for the campaign for BBM for the vice presidency. But Manong Chavit has a plan. So thank you for coming, but let's hear from Manong Chavit. So I told them, everybody knows that Sara Duterte will win already, no doubt about it. The president supporting him at the height of the popularity of President Digong. So, but why should we file vice president? Anyway, there is no announcement yet from Mayor Sara, so we better file president first. But when Sara will file, you have to slide down, because I'm committed to support Mayor Sara. And I'll have the leverage to talk to Mayor Sara to become your vice president. And so that's our strategy. That's good. Everybody was clapping, including BBM. So we started campaigning for him as president. But the real plan was for him to be vice president.
What changed for him to suddenly become the president?
Well, at that time, it was not yet allowed to have a big crowd because it's COVID. But I was able to get the permission from the administration of President Rodrigo Duterte to have a small crowd. Then they allowed me, provided a small crowd. So we started by meeting all the mayors, regional. We went region by region, just meet the mayors to introduce BBM to all of them. In fact, he told me that I'm very lucky, Manong, that you're the president of the Mayor's League, because when I ran for vice president, I don't have any mayors. So he was so happy. So we went around campaigning until he became very popular. So I talked to Mayor Sara, at that time he was the mayor. If you file for president, BBM is willing to slide down because that's our agreement. So he told me, thank you, Governor, but I decided not to run anymore. Why? I think there was a family problem at that time, so he refused to run anymore, any position.
This is for VP Sara at that time?
Yes, so he said, no more, Manong, I will not run anymore, thank you. So I talked to, because the president filed already for president, vice president, and Bongo filed also for president. So I told Bongo that, why don't you slide down as vice president and let BBM is now very popular, he'll be the president. Both sides doesn't like. Bongbong doesn't like also at that time, because I told him not to get any vice president, because our target is for president only. But if Sara will decide to run, he will slide down. So that was the plan. It so happened, but I told him that in my estimate, you will win already. When Sara
joined
didn't run
as
anymore.
vice president.
So I said, if you win, we should double time. I think this time you can be the first ever to be the majority president. Will become the majority president. We need it so that other countries will trust you.
And Manong Chavit, does the President Bongbong Marcos, currently reach out to you for political advice or any type of advice?
Yes, I'm with him every day. In fact, I didn't run any position anymore to be with him. Because the last time he ran, I was not able to help him. I just helped him financially, but I did not. I was not able to accompany him. So at that time, I didn't run for mayor anymore. I accompanied him all the way. We are just a few of us who were going around.
How long does the relationship between the Marcoses and the Singsons date back to?
Well, until I think they were still forcing Inday Sara to run for president. So he suddenly decided to run for vice president. I said, well, good news, I told BBM. Sara decided to run for vice president. So that's the time I arranged already with all the leaders that we will include him in our sorties. So if I'm not mistaken, the first meeting was in Cebu with Inday Sara and President Bongbong. What
if Sara at that time also ran for president? Who would you have supported? Would you have supported President Bongbong Marcos or VP or Sara at that time?
Both of them already. I told them to, even before that was my plan for them to join.
Yes,
Sara
but if they didn't join together, if, for example, both of them ran for president.
Sara decided to run for vice president. I said, bingo, you have no more opponent.
But if, for example, both of them ran for president, who would you have supported?
He will slide down, that's our agreement. And that can witness to all the leaders of the North, governors, congressmen, mayors. So he's not really targeting for the presidency. It's because I believe in destiny. So it so happened that Sara did not decide anymore to run. He ran for vice president. So that's good, I said. So I talked to Senator Bongo to slide down to
withdraw
his
his bid for vice president. What about your relationships as families po? How long have the Marcoses and the Singsons been friends?
Well, I've been supporting. There were in the old days there were only two parties, liberal and nationalist party. At that time, they have already a candidate in Ilocos for. I was just forced to run for governor. It was just an accident.
So you were friends po with Marcos Sr., with the old
No,
Marcos.
at first, of course, I have to, although we are supporting President Marcos, President Marcos, I was forced to be the opposition because they have already a candidate, incumbent governor and Congressman Crisorgo. So.
But were your parents friends? Because you're all Ilocanos as well.
Yeah, but they are supporting the Crisorgos at that time because they are with their party. So, but it became very bloody because we are considered as one of the most notorious provinces before. Everyday killing. So I was just forced to run. I was the underdog at that time. But to cut the story short, I won as governor. So against their candidate.
And you became...
But later on, we became friends because martial law was declared. They removed every party. So we're not doing no more election for so many years. So Imelda was the one who introduced me to him. He keeps, Madam Imelda was visiting vegan from time to time. I showed her the old houses. And President Marcos signed a decree to protect our old houses because at that time he told me that his ambition to have a house in Vigan. Because Vigan was the center of the North before they divided it. So it was a city during the Spanish time. They called it Ciudad Fernandina in honor of King Ferdinand of Spain.
And how would you describe your relationship with the First Lady Lisa Marcos?
Yeah, we were campaigning. All of us are together during the campaign. There's only one. All my airplanes are the one. Only we are using all my airplanes for him.
During the campaign.
But when he was already very popular, the latecomers started donating, lending their jet. So I said, you just choose the best. Do not fly the helicopter, one single engine helicopter. There are new helicopters now, the twin engine safer. Because you're become president already. But we should double time because I want you to be the first ever to become a majority president, so that other countries will trust you. But even if other countries will not support you, I'm ready to support you because I have a lot of contacts in Korea. I have my factory. All the big companies there are my friends, and they're willing to support. So I remember very well at first week few days when he was in Malacanang. Do you still, is your friend from Korea that you told me that will finance all the project still there? Yes. You want him to come here? Yes, right away. I called him. Following day, they arrived. Daewoo.
Oh, Daewoo, that's,
because the new owner, Daewoo is a big company in Korea, but it's owned by the government. But there is a law to privatize it in a certain year. So my friend won the bidding, so he owns Daewoo. So he will finance everything. So I invited him. They talked with the president. The president and chairman of Daewoo was there. They said, any kind of project.
So it seems like you also have good relations with Vice President Sara. If she were to run for president in 2028, will you be supporting her in the same way that you supported President Bongbong Marcos in 2022? But before you answer that question, Manong Chavit, we'll have to take a short break. At the forefront, we'll be right back. Welcome back at the forefront. Before the break, Manong Chavit, we were asking you, if Vice President Sara Duterte runs for president in 2028, will you be supporting her in the same way that you supported President Bongbong Marcos in 2022?
That will be my problem. So I don't know the future because there are a lot of conflict now. I really don't know yet.
If the President Bongbong Marcos fields his own candidate in 2028, will that be a predicament for you? If, for example, President Bongbong Marcos fields their own candidate in 2028 against Vice President Sara Duterte, will that be a difficult decision?
Well, it depends who will be his candidate. It's really a problem because both sides are my friends. Like now, President Duterte endorsed me to run for senator. So, if you recall, during the impeachment, they said, you're very popular now. Are you going to run for senator? I did not run. No, I said, I would not run any position. I didn't run to any position. So, if that time comes, it will be a problem for me. I'll just wait, whoever the candidate of the other party.
Well, there were recently some people also encouraging you to run for Senate. I think it was in a Baguio public market where people were egging you to run for Senate. Would you consider running for Senate in 2025?
I think because of the endorsement of President Duterte, I said it's an honor to be endorsed by President Duterte. So I have to meet with my family first and ask my friends, because when I was the governor, I was the president of the Governors League. When I was the mayor, I was the president of the Mayor's League. When I became a councilor, I also the president. So I'll ask them. I might run. I'm not sure. My only problem is they might think that I'm doing all this help that I'm doing because I'm running for senator. But that's not really the reason. It just so happened that a lot of people are now encouraging me to run for Senate. Like now, I have a lot of things to. I'm helping the government, like the modernization program of the electric vehicles. It's been a long time project with the government. The drivers cannot afford to go to the bank, borrow money, and put a down payment of 500,000. So when President Marcos attended the launching for my Dongfeng cars, I made mention to him that that long project, it will happen now because I decided to provide all. I will provide all the jeeps, electric vehicles, tricycles, and motorcycles without any down payment, zero balance, and zero interest. And it will be the cheapest. So when the drivers heard about it, all the transport group came to me and explained to them, first, look for the cheapest electric vehicles because in the Philippines there are manufacturers. Look for the cheapest. So they went around the Philippines. They went even to Korea and China. The cheapest, because we followed their specification. A bigger, we copied the jeepney, 22-seater plus 6 standing, so total 28-seater, and aircon. So they came back to me, they found now the cheapest is 2,400,000. As I said, as I promised, I don't want to make money on this. If I tell them 2 million, they will agree, because the cheapest 2.4. I said I will only sell it to you at 1,200,000.
So at
but
cost.
it's a quality. It's a quality because it's made in Korea. They're very strict there. So, and I will destroy my name also if it's just an ordinary vehicle. So we made a lot of tests in Korea by following the specification of DOTR and the transport group. We have a machine to test everything, the gears, the brake, and everything. Plus, the last test is to crash test. They have to bump the Jeep.
Yeah, so for
if
the
driver is
safety
safe.
quality.
So they did already, and we were able to put up the prototype. They are all here now.
Yeah. So will the Filipino jeepney drivers, they can access, will they be able to expect
Yes.
access to this for the jeepney modernization program?
Yes, they agreed already, all of them.
So that's great. Like you're really able to help Filipinos, and you also have the e-Gracia wallet,
Yes.
where you even offered cash prizes to people who, if they're able to download it, that
Yes.
you gave it.
E-Gracia, and we have other companies to do the digitalization, because, like for example, my daughter, Congresswoman Richelle, they have it's an IT, so we in Narbacan, when I was a mayor, she made the card. Because 77% of the Filipinos don't have bank account. If they go to the bank, they'll just be denied because there are too many
lack of documentation. Yes.
Yes. So we talked to the Union Bank, and they agreed. So we distributed cards for the people of Narbacan and the whole province and other provinces. The people will know, they will not go to the bank anymore. We made the arrangement. So we distributed a card, which I'm using. Any name, like my card, Narbacan ako, with bank account, and a credit card as a debit card, and Visa. You know,
So now a lot
card,
of people in Narvacan are able to have their own accounts and even like a credit card through the e-Gracia
That's
wallet.
what I'm using when I'm out of the country, because it's Visa. Visa or MasterCard or UnionPay, that means worldwide. So I'm just using that.
So Manong Chavit, you have so many businesses. Are you able to keep track? How many businesses do you currently have?
I have a lot, but in every company there is a CEO, and I have an overall CEO who talks to them every day. So only one person, the head of all the CEO, reports to me.
So you've done, you have also a car brand before from China, and then right now e-jeepneys from Korea, but you also have dabbled in producing. I think you're doing season 2 of Vagabond, which is a Korean production. Is there any business you have not gotten into? Because you also had a funeral parlor before.
Yeah, when I was young.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Almost everything.
when you were young, what was your first break into business? What was your first business?
Well, when I was young, we had two movie houses. And because of the peace and order at that time, we were the most notorious. So my parents decided to bring us all to Manila not to get involved in all those controversies in the province. But I asked my dad if I can go back to manage all our businesses. We have the construction because my father is an engineer. So I took care of our construction, of course, two movie houses, and our funeral parlor, a lot. So I was able, that's where I learned everything, and I was able to improve everything. So that started my construction company. So
Some people think that you also made a lot of your wealth from gambling, that you're lucky in gambling. Is that a myth? Like, is there
no,
any truth to
lately
that?
only, I made money during the tobacco, because our major industry is the Virginia tobacco. And it was new at that time. So my parents started planting tobacco. It's like a hit and miss system because we're still learning. Because in planting tobacco, you have to, after harvesting, you have to cure it through a curing barn before you can sell it to the redried plant. Sometimes the whole curing barn get burned down and so on. So I told my father, can you recommend me to the company to work there? And my father is very supportive, so he recommended me through his friend to work there. So I learned everything. It was a very lucrative business. So when I learned everything, I resigned and started trading tobacco. That's where I earned a lot of money. So until I became the biggest trader. So at first I started with one truck. Then I sold my car to have more capital. So until I was already trading hundreds of truckloads from time to time. So I was the biggest trader of tobacco.
That's very impressive. You also were very close to Pacquiao before, Manny Pacquiao, and we would see you live during his fights abroad. Is there any truth that there was a rift after between the two of you because of an issue with tobacco sin tax?
Yes. When I became governor, we are one of the poorest. Our highway from boundary to boundary, it's all in bad shape, including our towns. So our only hope is just waiting for help from the higher authorities. So when there was the first election of congressman, I told my constituent I ran for Congress to enrich our province. Of course, everybody believed me, most of them. So I went to Congress. I have only one bill, and it became a law. The Virginia, the tobacco law, which is now called Republic Act 7171, in which 15% of all the excise taxes of cigarettes all over the country will go back to the tobacco-producing provinces. That changed our province. To cut the story short, from the poorest, we are now the fifth richest province in the country. And we are very peaceful now because I don't tolerate any of my supporters to do the same what my opponent did. When they started the revenge, because their families were killed, I jailed them. I said, if you start killing, this will not stop anymore. You kill, you're rebels now, they kill again, so it will not stop. So I put them all to jail. My own supporters, at first they were angry and mad at me because now that is our time, why are we in jail? So later on I explained to them, and yeah, to cut the story short again, we became peaceful because I don't tolerate killings anymore.
Yes. But how did that end into or cause a conflict between you and Manny Pacquiao?
Yeah, because the law that I made, whatever you produce, that's your share. And every time, it's a long time, but the manufacturers are lobbying in Congress not to increase the taxes for them, because they don't want to increase the taxes. But during the time of President Noynoy Aquino, Secretary Ona of Health, the Department of Health, and Kim Henares talked to me to help them because all the leaders of the North refused to increase the taxes because they believe that if you increase the taxes, they will kill the industry. So we went to a meeting with all the leaders of the North, and Amy was there talking. Also, he made mention that let's hear from Manong Chavit, is the author of 7171. And I said, increase the taxes. So they were all surprised. Secretary Ona hold my hand, Manong, you're a hero. So I defended it. And so when they started, all the leaders said, the industry will die. No, it will not. So...
And Pacquiao's position was opposite?
No, that's the start.
Oh, okay.
So when they start increasing the taxes, we have more funds. Because when the first time they increase, we have more funds. So everybody was happy. In Congress, they started, every time they did money, they increased the taxes. They call the sin taxes. That includes the tobacco. So it increased to several billions. So now, the beneficiaries, of course, like the province now is the Pipriches, and the top 10 municipalities, richest, 6 of my municipalities are in the top 10. So that's the, and if you, it's very hard to make a law. You have to, everybody will question you, and there should be a source. Because some bill, they make bills, but upon the availability of funds. But my bill was for the tobacco. It's our own
It has its
industry.
own source of revenue. In year 2000, it was because of your revelations that eventually led to impeachment proceedings and then the ouster of former President Joseph Estrada. How would you describe your relationship with former President Estrada right now?
Well, now we are friends, but at that time we have a conflict because of the law that I made. There are a lot of, it's a history now, but we supported President Estrada. I even told them before we part, before we had the conflict, I explained to him, I talked to all the son, the family, other congressmen, senators. All I wanted is to give, because he gave me the proceeds of the illegal gambling numbers. But I don't know how to manage it. I told him it was Atong Ang who knows. So When they have a quarrel, he gave it to me. He said, what they give it to me, I give it to you. So that started everything. You want me to increase? I cannot, because I'm ashamed to talk to the governors, the police, the officials, because it's illegal. Until they started the Bigo Tubles, which became popular at the beginning. So I said, you better get back at Ang. He knows how to arrange everything as far as the numbers is concerned. So you want me to give it to Ato? Yes. So because they quarreled also. So when they started to give the franchise to anybody they like. It so happened that they're giving it to my opponent. So I said, no, it will be an insult. My only request, give it to anybody, but not to my political opponent. It will be my insult on my part.
But at least it's impressive that you were able to be friends again.
Yes.
Let's talk about something personal about you, Manong Chavit. So you're known to have Baluarte, which has several animals there, and you're also known to be a really good hunter. So how long have you been a hunter, and what made you start that hobby?
Well, since I was young, I love animals until I have a lot of collection, and people started coming. But I did charge. For 24 years, I did not charge anything. No entrance, animal show 3-4 times a day. I did not charge, just to develop our tourism industry.
Well, it sounds like you were responsible, or you played a key role to have the uni team, where we have President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Sara winning under that uni team. What is your advice to them now that we see, as you mentioned earlier, there's already a pronounced conflict between the two factions?
Well, they should. It's a pity. I'm very sad because it's only 3 years now. And I was expecting before, when they won, they have to work together for the good of the country. But something happened somewhere, so they are now. And I don't want to be part of their problem. So as far as that problem is concerned, I don't want to comment on it.
Well, on
because
that
they
note,
are both my friends.
Yes. And on that note, you said in one recent interview that in politics, there are no permanent friends.
Yes.
All are temporary allies. Does that mean that your alliance with President Bongbong Marcos is only temporary? But before you answer that question, we'll have to take a short break. At the Forefront, we'll be right back. Welcome back at the Forefront. Before the break, we were asking you, Manong Chavit, you said in one interview that in politics, there are no
such
permanent
thing as
friends.
a permanent friend. All are temporary allies.
So would you...
That's my observation. Up to now, it's happening. Right now.
But for you, for example, would you consider yourself then as a temporary ally of President Bongbong Marcos?
No, you know, the Ilocano people, the Filipinos are very loyal friends, especially the Ilocanos. We will support any leader whom we believe that could lead our country. So we are not some mention that we are blind followers of a certain person, but no. We will only support any leader whom we believe that could lead our country.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the current performance of President Bongbong Marcos?
Well, both of them are good, but if they continue quarreling, but maybe we don't know if both of them will go down and another leader will come out. So I'm just observing. because I'm not involved anymore with the activities of the government. They're just supporting some of the program.
And let's go to something lighter, more about yourself. Earlier, we were talking about Baluarte, which has become a tourist spot in Ilocos, and you don't charge anything for it.
Yes.
Would you know how many animals you have?
Oh, a lot. Several lions, tigers, leopard. I even bought 27 giraffe. I've been wanting to have a giraffe for a long time, and I lost money because they have to wait for the airplane to be full. So the last thing, when I ordered another 6, and it'll grow taller, they cannot anymore be loaded to the airplane. So what I did was to charter the whole plane. Instead of buying 6, I bought 27 giraffe, plus hundreds of...
27 giraffes?
Yes.
Wow.
And several hundred, 100, more than 100 antelope, different kinds of antelope.
So 27 giraffes, 100 plus antelopes, and you chartered a whole plane to put them there.
Yes. There's only one passenger, the doctor.
The doctor. So how did this love for animals start? Did you always love animals when you were young?
Yes, yes. Lahat, everything.
What was your first
I
pet?
have every dog, pig, cats, and everything. So.
What was your first
Birds.
pet as a child? Ano po yung first pet ninyo?
I started raising I have a pet before. My favorite pet was a pig. So he even sleep in my room.
In your room, okay. Lumaki po ba? Malaking
Yeah.
pig? So,
But I was so sad when he became big, very fat. My parents told me that we have to sell it because it's so big already. And eventually, their lifespan is not that long. Although I didn't want to because he was attached already, I finally agreed for them to sell my pet and my pet. So I bought another pet. So I love animals, including the most beautiful animals.
which is what?
Miss Universe.
Miss you brought Miss Universe here to the Philippines in 2016. Would you consider hosting Miss Universe again in the future?
Yes, because nobody sponsored Miss Universe ever since, because it's very expensive, very hard to get. In fact, I have several interviews already. It's very hard, because they're very strict. You know, Miss Universe is a big company owned by several bigger company, and to cut the story short, before we continue, because they don't know me at that time, they know me as a governor. So before we continue discussing, I went to New York. That signed the contract so I can start talking to some sponsors. No, Governor, you know, you have to deposit $1 million, unrefundable. So parang ayaw nila eh. So I'm not kidding. I gave $1 million. And then to my surprise, let's sign the contract. No. You have to add 5 million for because 6 million is only for Miss Universe. Ako, napasubo na ako. So I add another 5 million. That signed the contract. No, Governor, that's only for Miss Universe. All the expenses in the Philippines, you have to spend for it. I'm ready. I bought a yacht, I bought an airplane, I bought a 160-seater airplane, the Boeing, and I'm ready for the Miss Universe. No, You see, Governor, you have to deposit what you will spend in the Philippines. How much? $6 million. So,
$6 million?
little by little.
So another $6 million.
Ako, if I back out, lugi na ako ng 6 million. So, I gave another 6 million. So they signed the contract. 12 million, so they decided how to expand it and everything. Because Miss Universe, in other countries, they don't bring them out only in the hotel because if something happened, it will be an international issue. So when I got it, I said I have to bring it out. I have to bring them to show all the tourist spots because that's my purpose, to show them all the tourist spots to promote the Philippines. So to cut the story short, they told me later on that was the most successful Miss Universe ever in the Philippines. I mean, the whole universe. So after the Miss Universe, they talked to me, Governor, you can do it to any country without down payment, we will give percentage. They want me to be the sponsor all the time. It so happened that I was helping them a lot.
Yeah. And it sounds super expensive. Was it profitable for you in the end?
No. When I went to New York, I asked my economic team, if we spend this much, $12 million, do you think we can recover or make money? They told me it's a big investment. We might lose, or we might you might. The only possible thing for this is you can recover or lose money. How much? If we lose $1 million or $2 million, I'm willing to take it because it's good for our country. We can promote the country, help the tourism industry. So I don't mind losing money. So I said we'll get it.
Yeah, that's true. It did help the tourism industry in the Philippines
yes,
when you hosted the Miss Universe.
We earned $500 million worth of media mileage.
For the Philippines.
For the Philippines.
So it sounds like you're very busy. You have all of these businesses that you have to run. You are also able to advise the government from time to time under this administration. What about your personal life? Are you in a relationship right now?
No, only the first day of the president when he called me. If my friends in Korea are still there, so
yes.
I called them.
But
they
your
agreed to
personal
finance everything.
relationship, Manong Chavit, are you seeing anyone? Are you in a relationship with any woman? Any relationship with a woman, like a personal relationship for your personal life? Meron po ba kayong girlfriend?
Right now, I am single. Mabuti tinanong mo. Para alam na wala akong asawa.
Yeah. Oo nga.
Because unfortunately, my wife died already. So I'm really single officially.
And at least it sounds like you're, again, very busy, so you have to make time for your personal life. But 1 hour was not enough with you, Manong Chavit. There's still so much that we wanted to ask you. But thank you so much for being here today and taking the time to be here.
Yes. Before we end, I would like to thank President Duterte for endorsing me to run for senator. It's an honor for me to be endorsed by President Duterte. And I'm just waiting for the decision of all the leaders in the Mayor's League, Councilors League, and the Governor's League. If they support me, I might run. But I'll still help the country in any way.
And we look forward to that. We look forward to also seeing your decision in 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Manong Chavit, for being here today.
Thank you, thank you.
Manong Chavit currently keeps himself busy in worthwhile business ventures, but is willing to share his wealth and blessings to those in need. If he decides to run in next year's election, one thing is definite. It's going to be a decision with a purpose. Be timely informed, be insightful of the news. Always stay at the forefront. Join us again tomorrow for meaningful conversations that would help you form an objective personal opinion. This is Attorney Karen Jimeno. Thank you for spending your hour with us.